Get our experts on board for the morning. We've got Rajesh Agarwal, Head of Research at AUM Capital, as well as Vaishali Parekh, who's Vice President, Technical Research at Prabhudas Leeladhar. Thanks so much to the two of you for joining in this morning, and always a pleasure having you on the program. Let me start with a question on Gensol Engineering, and this is a question coming in from Saudi Arabia. Balaji's got this question. All right. So he's bought at levels of 355, so elevated levels, and he's wondering what to do because he's seen considerable erosion of capital. Rajesh, a few negative updates coming in from Gensol Engineering. Would you hold on to this, or would you book out and move to something else?
Good morning, Alex, Mahima, Vaishali. As far as Gensol is concerned, I think one should try to get out, but you are not getting an opportunity because it's in a down circuit from last so many days, because of the fact that it has been downgraded on the debt part. Their subsidiary, Blue Smart, is also not doing that great. They're burning cash like anything. And there are a whole lot of stories going around. It's better to get out of these companies. This is the reasons we always advocate going for a fundamental strong company, because when it starts falling, you don't get an exit. My advice would be try to exit as soon as possible. When you get a chance, you get out.
Right, get out from Gensol Engineering is the view coming in on the counter. We have our first caller for the day who's calling in from Dubai. Amit, a very good morning to you. How can we help you?
Good morning. Right, I love your show, guys. So I have a very simple query, right?
Yeah.
So much going around with Trump tariffs and stuff like that.
Right.
I made a small cap call in a company called RK Forgings.
Got it.
RK Forgings has significant exposure, not just in India, but outside as well.
Right.
Plus the fact that it is a small cap and we know what has happened to small caps. I have a significant holding here in this company, and I thought that it would be worthwhile to see what do I do with this company. Do I hold it for the long term, or do I just let this one go and just move on?
Okay.
So I'd like to know the sector and the possible impact that we foresee.
Got it. Amit, when you say significant, what percentage of your portfolio is RK Forging right now? And also, thank you so much for giving us that compliment.
No, it's not that much. I would probably say about 8% exposure of my portfolio. So it's still quite large.
Got it.
But yeah, like I said, if I like to know what to do. Yeah.
Got it. And given a chance, you would want to hold this from a longer term perspective, right?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, yeah, I would like to hold on for a long term. Yeah.
Okay, got your point. I'll take this up with Rajesh. Rajesh, what's your view with respect to RK Forgings and the entire space?
See, the company is doing very good, I would say. It's a Calcutta-based company, and they're doing fundamentally very well. Last few quarters, the numbers have been very strong. It's just because of the Trump factor that things have come under pressure, and I think this pressure is going to continue for some more time. But going forward, if I'm thinking of holding this stock for maybe a period of 12 to 18 months, I think if it falls to around 700 odd rupees, that would be a good levels to buy. At this point of time, it's a hold from our side.
It's a hold on RK Forgings, even though you've lost a little bit of ground, Amit. Hope that clarifies your question. SEPC, Shriram EPC is the name of the counter that we're talking about. Not a very large company, 2,260 crore market capitalization at this juncture. Ramesh from Hyderabad wants to know, and this one's for you, Vaishali. If you have a view, he's bought at levels of 33. The stock is currently at 14.4, and he's looking for advice as to what to do. Should he book out, sell and book losses, or hold for a year?
Very good morning, all of you. I think SEPC can be held because, see, technically it has shown a good corrective move from the recent high of 25, and now it showed signs of bottoming out of 13. So now it's in the process of recovery. So I would say, well, one can average it with 13 rupees as stop loss, and that will get the rate, his buy price also better, and one can have a relook at 2022. These are the levels which will show good resistance. So maybe the cost would come down and we can have a relook. It's a sign of reversal from here on.
Okay. All right. It's a sign of reversal on SEPC despite the kind of erosion that you've seen in your capital. Hope that answers your question. Sanjay is calling us from New Delhi. Sanjay ji, namaskar. How can we help you today?
Yeah, namaskar. I am having an electro steel casting 10,000 shares at the rate of 104.
Okay.
And I am due for 3 months.
104. Okay, so can I assume that you bought it not too long back?
Recently.
Recently.
Yes,
And you want a 1 year view. I'm just wondering why you bought into this counter, Sanjay. Is it because you saw the price action? It looked attractive to you?
yes. It has been corrected quite long.
Yeah.
And I find yes, it would bounce from 104. So 118 would be my target, and recently purchases this quantity.
Got it. Okay. Vaishali, so it's a tactical play and he's bought a considerable quantity as well, 10,000 shares at 104. The price erosion from that point is not very significant. What would you say is the upside potential? His target, as he pointed out, 118. Is that possible?
That is quite possible because actually the stock is just consolidating. I mean, right now there is no trend. There is no trend formation. It is just consolidating between 90 and 100. So let's see once the stock moves above, actually the near-term resistance comes at 108 to be precise. So once we see a clarity, the stock surging above 108, 110, this can go towards 120 also. So 90 should be the stop loss and wait for this to bounce back and see how it goes.
All right, so that's the view with respect to electro-steel. That's how you pronounce it?
Electro-steel casting.
Electro-steel casting. Okay. Yeah. All right. Our next query is on Yes Bank. Karthikeyan from Coimbatore is holding 1 lakh shares bought at 10.85 a piece. So he's sitting on a significant profits of over 6 lakh rupees, and he wants a view as to what should be the next course of action for him. I'll come to you on this one, Rajesh. What's the view like for something like a Yes Bank?
See, as far as the numbers are concerned, we have seen the numbers improving quarter on quarter from the last few quarters. Things have been taken care of. Asset quality has started improving. The bank has good number of branches, but the legacy issues is still there. And since you have a considerable quantity, I would say, although I am a fundamental analyst, but still I would say put a stop loss to that and book partial profit, so that at least if it goes wrong, though you are not in a loss. But for a long term, I think things are likely to improve from here. And we personally have a target of 20 to 23 odd rupees. But I would say just be careful because you have a very large quantity in this. And it's a high risk, high return sort of stock. So take your call.
Let me round out that view, since Rajesh is also suggesting a stop loss. Vaishali, on this trade, if you bought it close to 10 levels, where would you put the stop loss?
Well, I would say currently it is showing signs of, double bottom at 16 rupees. So 16 should be the stop loss. And well, I share the same view with Rajesh. First resistance comes at around 19, 19.5, and above that 22 would be the next target. So this is the range we would look at, 16 stop loss and look for 19 and 22 target.
Okay, so that's a comprehensive view that you've gotten on Yes Bank. Congratulations on buying when you did. It is a high risk, high return strategy that you have employed. Shweta is calling us from Hyderabad. Good morning, Shweta. How can we help you today?
Hi, Alex. Good morning.
Good morning.
I want to know the best pick among Dixon or Amber Enterprises for long-term view.
Got it. And why? So is this because you like the EPC space?
Yeah. I like this EMS space, and I know they have a huge potential to
EMS.
grow.
EMS. Sorry. Yeah, okay, so you like the EMS space, not the EPC space. Apologies, I got my acronyms all confused. Shweta, thanks so much for correcting me. Rajesh, in the EMS space, would you prefer Dixon or Amber?
See, at this point of time, I will avoid both. Okay. Not because the companies are bad or the sector is bad. EMS is looking very good with government PLI focus on indigenization. I think these stocks are going to do well, but look at the valuation. Almost all of them are trading at 3-digit PE. That's not sustainable as per me. I think a little bit of consideration is required before somebody takes a call in this. So at this point of time, both are avoid from this side.
All right, so avoid is the view coming on both Dixon as well as Amber from Rajesh. We have our next query from Ravi. He's holding 45 shares of Jyoti Labs at an average price of 514, and he's purchased this 8 months ago. He wants to know whether he should hold or add some more shares at the present lower price or book a loss, and he is prepared to hold for a further period of 1 year. He's a new entrant and is a small investor in the stock market is what he's saying. I'll I'll come to you again, Rajesh, for this one. Jyoti Laboratories is a better, small player in the FMCG space as compared to how large players have been performing. What's the view like? Should he continue to hold for a year?
Yes, of course, one can continue to hold. If funds allow, one can even add at these levels. The company is doing extremely well. It's a small player in FMCG doing that Ujala brand. They have the Ujala brand, which is doing great. One of the market leaders in its segment. I think one should even add at these levels.
Okay, you can even add Jyoti Lab at the current level on the fundamentals, is what Rajesh says. We're taking the next question from Ahmedabad. Sudhir Pandya is messaging us rather. He's got Cummins at a price of, let's see, 2,200. No, he's not given us a buy price. I think that's his quantity if I'm not mistaken. All right, so he's not given us a buy price, but he's asking whether to hold or sell. Since we don't have a specific price, I think it's a little difficult for you to give a view, Vaishali, but what are the trends that you're noticing both in the short term as well as on the long term charts?
So Cummins is one of the stocks which has got its long-term, that is a weekly chart, monthly chart quite intact. I mean, the levels even right now, if I'm seeing the stock from the recent story, from 4,200 levels, we've seen a good correction coming towards 2,600. Now it's showing signs of improvement. I would say one must definitely hold this stock, and let's go step by step from here on. If the market continues to show improvement, this will go towards 3,400 levels. 3,400 would be the resistance. Once we see the stock sustaining above 3,400, this can again retest the 4,200 and perhaps higher. So in my opinion, these are good quality stocks, not to be sold. Continue holding.
Okay, continue holding is the view coming in on Cummins. Our next caller is calling in from Karnataka. Arun, a very good morning to you. How can we help you?
Yeah, very good morning. So my question is on the Shriram Finance. So I'm holding around 47 shares at a buy average price of 673.
Okay.
So my question is whether I have to hold this particular stock or whether I have to rotate to another NBFC sector stock except Bajaj Finance.
Got it. And when did you buy this and what was the thinking behind buying this? Was it from a longer term perspective? Did you see the fundamentals?
Yes, I have seen the fundamental. So what made me buy this stock is because of the rate cut, right? So we have the rate cut coming in April 9th.
Right.
So based on that, I already have allocation in Bajaj Finance. So that's why I wanted to understand whether I have to go with another NBFC sector which is technically strong from longer term perspective.
Got it. Rajesh, I'll come to you quickly on this. Should he continue to hold Shriram Finance or shift to another NBFC except for Bajaj Finance is what he's saying?
See, the entire NBFC space is looking good because of the fact that when we talk of CapEx and other things going ahead, financials are going to do well. Out of which Shriram Finance is a good company, financing to trucks and all, and the segment is doing very well. Apart from this, if you want to have some exposure, there are very good names like Bajaj Finserv. It's not Bajaj Finance, Bajaj Finserv, Poonawalla FinCorp and Jio Finance. These three have corrected quite a lot from their recent high, despite the fact that the numbers have been pretty good. In case of Poonawalla, last quarter numbers were bad because of provisioning and all. Otherwise, businesses are doing very well. You can have exposure in these companies if you like.
Okay. All right. So comprehensive view on the financial space as well. IOB also from the financial space under a little bit of pressure today. Of course, it's off the low point of the day. It was down about 3 to 4% earlier on in the session, but trading at 37 rupees or thereabouts. Vineet from Coimbatore is asking about the near-term targets as well as the stop loss. If you are to buy at this juncture, first of all, is this the right moment to buy? Vaishali, on the charts, under a little bit of pressure today, but would you buy?
I would say so because even on the weekly charts, it has seen a massive correction and right now it's at a support at a crucial moving average. So I would say keep a stop loss of 34, buy, go all out. And I think this can give a good bounce back towards 40, 42 for now. So yes, I think deep oversold and go for it.
So that's the view coming in on IOB. Our next counter is Suzlon Energy. Ramesh is holding 400 odd shares bought at 57 rupees a piece. And he wants to know and wants to have an outlook with respect to Suzlon for the next 2 to 3 years. Rajesh, I'll come to you. What are your views with respect to Suzlon Energy?
A strong company in renewable space having very large capacity, reduced debt. In fact, after their fundraising and all, it's almost debt free. But despite that, I think the valuation are on a higher side. At around 58, 59 odd rupees, I would say try to book profits.
Okay, all right. So would you say, and just a quick follow-up to that, would you say that the cancellation of those projects to the extent of 300 megawatts is a big negative, or is it par for the course, considering the size of their order book, Rajesh?
Considering the size, 300 megawatts is not that big, I would say, because they have a very large order book. But still, on the valuation parameters, we are a little concerned. And there are better plays in renewable energy. Maybe a Tata Power would be a better play.
Okay, all right. So Tata Power is the better play in the renewable space on the fundamentals. Keep that on your radar. Shiva is calling us from Andhra Pradesh. Good morning, Shiva. How can we help you today?
Good morning, sir. Myself Shiva, and I want to know the VB of the target. And
Sorry, I'm losing your line, Shiva. If you can step out into the open, you want to know about, yeah, it's not very clear. So just step out if you can into the open. Varun Beverages is what you want to know about, right?
what is the current target of Varun Beverages, and is there any impact on tariffs Trump is announcing today?
Okay. What is the time frame that you have? You bought at levels of 530. Do you have a long-term view or a short-term view?
It's short-term view.
Got it. Okay. So I don't think that there's going to be any implication on tariffs, because this is largely a company that deals with the Indian consumer, and so therefore I don't think that there's going to be too much in the way of beverages that is going to be impacted. But on the technical, since you have a question on the short term, let me go to Vaishali on this. 530 is a buy price. What are the levels to watch out for in the near term?
I would say 515 acts as a support, below which it would get a bit corrective. So if I keep a stop loss of 515, and the trading target would be at around 560 to 580.
So that's the view with respect to where Varun Beverages is concerned. Our next question is from Nimish Nair, who's writing in from Saudi Arabia. He wants to have a view on HAL, and his time horizon is, I believe, from a longer term perspective. So Rajesh, I'll come to you. What's your view with respect to something like an HAL after the order wins that we've seen yesterday? Do you think that it's a right buy right now?
See, one can hold and even buy for a long-term horizon. The defense as a space is looking good. HL has got a good order book. There were concerns about execution sometimes back because of some somebody from the army saying that execution is not taking place in a right time, I would say. But still, going by the order book and the kind of execution access they have, the kind of the technology they have, I think HL is a good buy for defense. Not only HL, but even BDL can be bought at these levels.
Okay, so one of our callers, Raghavendra, is calling us from Karnataka. Raghu, we just spoke about Jyoti Labs. In fact, we've got, if I remember correctly, Rajesh, correct me if I'm wrong, you said that you can even buy at these levels, right?
Yes, of course.
Okay,
yes,
okay.
Fine.
I'm glad that my memory is still intact. We've got Ramesh Dasi, who's writing in from Vijayawada, and he wants to know about Wari Energy and 2,226. Let's look at this. Yeah, so 2,266 is the average buy price. He's got 54 shares, and he's wondering whether to hold for a 3-month time frame. The stock is under pressure today. If I remember correctly, this is on account of an initiation of coverage by whom?
This was for
Wari Energy. Bernstein,
yeah.
with a negative outlook, right? With an underperform rating. All right, so I'm testing Mahima's memory as well.
It's not
luckily, luckily, Namrata, who's speaking in my ear, has reminded me that this is Bernstein. All right, so let me go across to Vaishali on the charts. It's looking a little negative right now, 2.8% or thereabouts. Would you hold on if you bought at levels of 2,266 for a period of 3 months?
I would think so because there's nothing wrong with the trend. But yet, if one has to keep stop loss, one should keep a stop loss at 2250. And once the stock goes about 2500 levels, you can see a good up move coming perhaps up to 3200 levels also. So it is a very favorable risk reward. And there is no negation in the trend. So in my opinion, one should hold.
This is the view coming in on Vari Energies. Our next caller, Srujana, is calling in from Hyderabad. A very good morning to you, Srujana. How can we help you?
Yes, so I'm holding CDSL stock for an average of 1488.
Okay.
So almost like I'm holding 25 stocks since a month or so.
Okay.
So now currently it is under minus 18%. So my query here is, do I have to hold on to the stock, or I'm into minus 6750? So is it the best time to...
Got it. So when you bought this particular counter, Srujana, did you see the charts and buy it?
Yes.
Okay, so you want a technical view on this. Vaishali, I'll come to you. CDSL, how is it faring on the charts?
No, I think this stock, even for long-term perspective, should be held on. And at every dip, it is a stock to be accumulated. And right now, technically, it is very well placed. I think buy at every dip, because once you see the stock into a trend, you will get very good returns, because the stock is corrected right from 2000 levels. And now, right now, we are seeing a good bottoming out phase. So I guess one should average at these levels.
Okay, Abhishek has got the next question, and he's asking about Ambuja Cement. By the way, the cement pack as a whole has been in focus because there are few brokerages that are now turning positive on these companies, specifically on Ambuja though, trading at 533 or thereabouts. Vaishali, would you initiate right now? Would you buy?
So on the whole, cement sector is doing very well, and I think even if we talk about Ambuja, this stock also is quite likely to show good returns. Technically, if I were to say, it's forming higher bottom formation, and it's above all cluster of moving averages, so which shows the inherent strength. So I would say for a longer term perspective, 500 should be the stop loss, and look for a target of 600 to 620 from here on.
Okay. All right, so that's the view on Ambuja Cement. Standard disclaimer here, Ambuja Cement is part of the Adani Group, and so is NDTV Profit, which, as you know, is part of the NDTV Group. A stock that is no longer part of the Adani Group, but still has the name Adani Wilmar, is the counter that we're talking about next. And Jagar Thakur from Mumbai has bought 3,800 shares at a price of 395. He's been holding for the last 1.5 years, and he's incurring a loss. So he's wondering whether to hold or exit. Rajesh, on the fundamentals, what's the view?
See, the numbers have been pretty bad from the last few quarters, but after the kind of restructuring and Adani is getting out of this, I think there might be some amount of move coming in after the next 2-3 quarter numbers. So at this point of time, it's a hold, because almost all the negatives have been discounted. And the worst case scenario, which we believe is going down to around 240 to 40 odd levels, not less than that, unless and until market turns very bad. So at this point of time, it's a hold. Try to exit around 300.
All right, so that's the view coming in on Adani Wilmar. With that, it's time to slip into a short break, but stay tuned. We'll be right back taking all your queries on the other side.
He sold most of his stock, 80%, as on that date.
We have requested the management to come and speak to us. They asked us, what questions will you ask? We've sent it to them. They don't want to answer it, so then let's put it to our viewers as well.
7 key questions, right? How is it that 2,000 crore goes unnoticed by all of these auditors?
Is seeking more information on the trades and the all the transaction which has happened from the exchanges, both NSE and BSE.
The Reserve Bank of India's supervisory officers, they are seeking compliance reports on their foreign currency borrowings by these banks.
The DSS is, actively engaging with the Reserve Bank of India to sort of ensure the thorough examination of the matter. And
IndusInd Bank, as part of its internal review, had found that certain aspects of its derivatives portfolio was not meeting the standard that was set by the Reserve Bank of India.
Welcome back. You're watching Ask Profit on NDTV Profit, and this show gets you answers to all of your stock related questions. So that number on the screen above me is where you can message us, and the number right there is where you can call us. Sudhakar has used that number to call us, and he's calling us from Hyderabad. Good morning, Sudhakar. How can we help you today?
Good morning to all, sir.
Please
Very
go ahead.
nice talking to you.
It's my
Sir,
pleasure.
I have got solar industries at 11,300, sir.
Okay.
Looking into the technicals, I have bought it because all the technical things are good.
Yes.
So can I continue to hold it, or shall I add some more? I wanted to know, and what is the stop loss I should put it, sir?
Okay. Since this is a high ticket price, how many shares can you buy at this juncture? How much can you deploy?
I would like to buy another 5 to 6 numbers. I'm already holding 6 numbers.
Yes.
I would like to hold another 6.
Okay. And what is the time frame that you have in mind, Sudhakar?
Sir, I was from the exclusive industry. I was basically, because I have got a good confidence on this is the number one industrial exclusive industry. So I have got good confidence on this. This has got exports also a lot of. That's why I am asked. Yes, sir.
Okay. So that is fine. But how long can you hold it for, Sudhakar?
I can hold it for another 1 year, sir. It is in the defense. I can hold it for another 1 year.
Got it. Okay. So Vaishali, on the charts, then he's bought not too far away from the current market price, 11,300. Would you hold for a period of a year? And what levels would you look for?
I would say so, of course, because technically, I mean, the stock has shown signs of bottoming out at around 8,500, and from there, one-way rally we have seen in this stock. So a little bit of technical consolidation to retracement is not ruled out. So I guess now the near-term support would come at 10,500 if that is what he was asking. And once the stock moves past 11,500, look for a target of 13,000. So this is the level that I would be looking at. 13,000 would be a hurdle. Probably book partial profit over there and then have a relook. If it's surging high, it can go towards 14,000 as well. So yes, the trend is intact. Even the longer period, it shows a lot of strength.
Okay. And if you were to buy, would you deploy a further? So I think he's looking to double his holding. Would you do so?
So let some correction take place. As I said, 10,500, 10,300 is a good level to add more.
I also want to draw your attention, by the way, to the markets. While we've been speaking, the markets have moved higher, and you have the benchmark Nifty 50 that is now 0.6% higher. IT and banking bouncing back from yesterday's declines. I wonder if the broader market's also doing well. Yeah, in fact, they are. You have the mid-cap index that's now up as much as 0.7%, and you have the small cap index that's turned. It is up as much as 0.5%. A lot of volatility. Bear that in mind, and don't judge anything based on this. You're seeing a lot of green on the screen right now, but remember, yesterday was a relatively down day, so you're seeing gains right now. Perhaps a reflection of that. Any quick view on the benchmark level, Vaishali, at this juncture? Some momentum. Would you bet on that, or would you hold your horses?
So, well, I would go right now. Nifty is quite in a yo-yo. So, yes, 22,800 is the technical support, and we could keep a range of 23,500 as a near-term hurdle. And once we are, and it's an event that we are going to go through. So, I would say that stock-specific would be better. But if one has to really trade on Nifty, 22,800 is the stop loss, and 23,500 to 23,600 could be the trigger.
Okay, so I think approach with caution is the view that every technical analyst is giving right now. Every analyst is giving, in fact. So we'd have to wait and watch out for as to how this entire tariff play turns out, and of course, like Vaishali mentioned, it has to be stock specific. So caution is the approach for the markets. But our next viewer is asking about Sonata Software. Rana is holding about 60 odd shares bought at 414 a piece, and he wants a view from a longer term perspective. Rajesh, I'll come to you on this one. If you have a view, what's the view like on something like a Sonata Software?
So one can continue to hold, although there are better names being available at a better valuation, especially in the large cap names. But still, going by the product profile and the valuation at this point of time, after the kind of correction it has witnessed, I think one can continue to hold for a target of 380, 390 in the next 1 quarter or so.
So hold is the view coming in on Sonata Software. Rajesh, did you also mention what are the better counters as compared to something like a Sonata Software that you find attractive?
See, after the tariff thing and the Trump thing, I think IT is under pressure and it's going to be under pressure for some more time. And one should not expect the kind of return they have given in the past. But still, purely on valuation parameters, I find large cap names like Infosys or TCS, where the balance sheet is very strong, their order book is still strong, they have good AI and cloud things under their belt, especially Infosys, that's doing very good. So I think a minimum target of 1,800 can be quite possible in the next 18 to 24 months. I would like to reiterate that in the short term, there are concerns because of Trump, not because of the company. But one should have a long-term horizon. And if somebody is looking for some lower risk kind of stocks, Infosys would be a better choice.
Okay. All right. So that's the comprehensive view on the IT space. Suresh is calling us from Vellore. Suresh, good morning. Are you a doctor by any chance?
Yes, sir. I bought it for 200 rupees at NIT Limited, sir.
Yeah, okay. All right.
500 numbers, I hold it, sir.
Okay. And what is your holding period?
When will hold it at 200 rupees, sir?
Got it. I understood. All right. So, and are you a long-term investor or short-term view is what you're looking for?
Short term, sir. Short term investor, sir.
Short term. All right. All right. So, Vaishali, 200 is the buy price and 500 shares. Would you hold for the short term?
I think I now may as well wait, because if you've held on for so long, keep a stop loss of 110. Observe a range of 140. Above 140, look for a target of 160, 170. That is where would be the major resistance. So look at those levels.
Okay, so that's the view coming in on NIIT. Our next counter is Oil India, and Yash from Pune is holding 50 shares at the levels of 663, and he wants to know whether he should sell, average or hold. Vaishali, I'll stick with you for this one. What's the view like on the charts for Oil India?
I think this too should give good returns from here on, because like many stocks, this too has seen massive correction right from 700 levels to now at 385. So average out at these levels and look for at least a bounce back up to 500. And after that, we can see higher levels as well.
Okay, so that's the view with that's the view with respect to Oil India. Our next caller is calling in from Visakhapatnam. Harish is calling in. Harish, a very good morning to you. I believe you have a query on Kalyan Jewellers.
Yes, madam.
Go ahead with your query, Harish.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning.
I am having 570 shares of Kalyan Jewellers at the rate of 430.
Okay.
Can I hold it for a long time, madam?
Okay, got your question, Harish. I'll take this up with Rajesh. Rajesh, Kalyan Jewellers, with everything that's happened, in the past few months, do you still think that he should continue to hold? And is there an upside momentum that you see in the stock going forward?
Gold at 90,000, 91,000 plus is good news for all the jewelry stocks. But as far as Kalyan is concerned, I think whatever has happened, as you mentioned, in the last few months, I think one should try to exit the stock because you never know what comes next. So it's better to be with quality names. Go for the market leader Titan if you want to be in jewelry space.
Rajesh, I'm just wondering if gold is at 91,000 and someone's asking you to buy jewelry, would you?
Yeah. Personally, I would not buy even in 9,000. So forget about 91,000. I'm pure equity person.
Okay, fair point. All right. Well,
good question for Vaishali, I think.
Vaishali, you want to answer that?
Well, I would not buy at this level. I would definitely wait for a dip.
There you go. All right. So let's see what the volumes are like for these jewelry companies. We will know soon enough with the business updates coming through. Not too far from now. Let's talk about the next one. We've got Vodafone Idea, and of course, you mentioned, one of you mentioned, I can't remember, I think Rajesh, you mentioned that Yes Bank was a high risk, high reward strategy, and Vodafone, I think, falls in that same bucket based on what we saw earlier in the week, right, with the government converting equity. It's been pointed out that for minority shareholders, this is not necessarily a great idea because you're seeing dilution of capital, but at least from the prospects of borrowing more, it opens the doors in certain respects which were closed. So what are the prospects so Karan Gupta wants to know whether you should buy for a period of 12 months at least. What would you say?
It's for me?
Yes, Rajesh, for you.
See, again, the same logic as you said of Yes Bank applies. High risk, high return. The lower range becomes 6 rupees, the higher range becomes 10 to 12 rupees. That's the range for Vodafone. After government stake coming to 49%, it has become a quasi-government company, I would say, with the only leeway they're going to have is raising fund in the near future if they require. But the EGR dues and other dues still loom large on the company. The subscriber addition numbers are not that great. Even the RPUs, when you compare to the other two players, is on a very lower scale. I would say it's around 140, 150 odd rupees. And if you talk of 5G rollout and all, they are still in a very nascent stage, I would say. They are trying to do that, but that would take much of a time. So on the higher side, I would say 10 would be the maximum level and 6 would be the lower level. That's the range we are following.
Okay, all right. So that's the view on Vodafone Idea. Watch out for any updates that you get on borrowing as well as the rollout of 5G. Keep that in mind as well. Avi is calling us from Kolkata. Good morning, Avi. How can we help you today?
Hi, good morning to the NDTV family. And currently I am holding Northern Arc Capital Limited 10,000 quantity at 173. So I just like to know, with a 1 year, 2 year perspective, how much could I look forward to?
Okay. Can I, so 173, and you bought very significant quantity. When did you buy this?
I bought it maybe starting of this month.
So not too long back. And what is the thesis that you had? I'm just curious about it because this is a space, the NBFC lending space has been under a tad bit of pressure in the category of loans that Northern Arc serves. So what was the thesis that you had, Avi?
The thing is, actually, I researched about this company a bit, whatever I could get. And what I could say, this space, this particular company is very diversified and it doesn't have all the eggs in one basket, the MFI portfolio is only maybe not much compared to other NBFCs in that space. And the last time it was, I think probably when it was, it launched its IPO, and after IPO it was priced at 350. And since then it had fallen significantly, and whenever there was a, massive sell-off like yesterday, the maximum it fell to between maybe up to 167. So I just felt probably it has bottomed out from my perspective, and I just thought it's probably a safe bet, so because I've lost a bit of money, before I had some shares like HUL and Bajaj Housing Finance Limited, which I had bought at higher levels compared to what they are priced in today.
Yeah.
So I just thought the quickest way to recover that money and as well as profit from this level, I just thought this company is probably good in that way.
Got it. I understood the thinking behind it. Let me see if Rajesh agrees with your thinking. Rajesh, Northern Arc, have you studied the book? And if so, is his reckoning right about the diversification of the book? And would you hold 173? Has it formed a base valuation wise?
See, there are two things what I noticed in his question. One, he's talking about levels 167, trying to recover profits just to negate the loss which he has made in Bajaj Housing Finance and other companies. That's wrong logic, I would say. Because recovering loss of one in the other counter in a very short span of time in market is very risky. It may happen. I don't say it doesn't happen, but it's very risky to take a call like this. If you are following technicals, follow technicals purely, keep a stop loss, resistance levels, and try to maintain that. Or if you are talking about fundamentals, then take a long call and do that. As far as Northern Arc Capital, yes, it's a good NBFC, no doubt on that. The gentleman has done quite a good research. MFI exposure is very low, and it has fallen quite a lot from its listing price. But at this point of time, when the entire NBFC space has taken quite a beating, there are better names. As I mentioned earlier, Bajaj Finserv and Geo Financial, Poonawalla, they are better names than Northern Arc is. And he has got a considerable quantity of 10,000 odd share. What I would suggest is reduce your quantity into this. Since you have conviction in Northern Arc, continue with some amount in Northern Arc also. Reduce your size, move some amount of capital to other good names.
Okay, so that's the view with respect to where Northern Arc is concerned. We have our next caller, Ramamurthy is calling in from Chennai. A very good morning to you, Ramamurthy. How can we help you?
Good morning. First of all, I'm a big fan of your show.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ramamurthy.
Thank you. Welcome. My query is that I have got Tata Electric shares, 10 shares at 855.
Okay.
And I'm now carrying with a loss of about 37,000. So, should I hold or that's my query.
Okay.
I have a horizon for 1 year. I can hold it for 1 or 2 years also. That's not a problem.
Okay, got your query, Ramamurthy. I'll take this up with Rajesh again. Rajesh, what's your view with respect to Tata Elxsi?
Strong company in animation and all doing very well. I think just because of market condition, it has fallen quite a lot. Maybe a target of 6,000 odd rupees in the next 12 months is quite possible belonging to Tata Group. Good order book, one can continue to hold.
You continue to hold Tata Elxsi. Hope that answers your question, Ramamurthy. And thanks so much for your kind wishes. It makes our day. We've got RailTel next, and a few of these rail companies have made a comeback after testing lows, and we've got Subramaniam who's writing in, who's bought at levels of 525. He's got a 6 to 12 month view, and he's wondering whether to hold on. He's lost quite a considerable amount of capital. What's the view on the charts though, Vaishali?
I would say RailTel too can be held on because rail stocks will do well eventually. So I would say keep a stop loss now at 280 levels because the stock is also showing signs of bottoming out. And so 280 should be the stop loss and keep a range of 340. Watch this level clearly. Once this moves, the stock moves above 340 decisively, you can look for a target of around 400 to start with. So I think just hold on.
Hold is the view coming in on RailTel from Vaishali. Aniket from Karnataka is writing in, and he's invested in Carousel at the rate of 558, and he wants to know the future growth of this particular stock. He's holding 15 shares. Rajesh, I'll come to you. What's the view like on Carousel?
So let's hold on. So you can continue to hold that and one not will
I think we're finding a little bit of trouble with your audio. Vaishali, while we try and fix that, Vaishali, Carousel at 637, it's up as much as 24%. The buy price, I can't remember exactly. What was the buy price?
558.
558. 558 was a buy price. So what would you do with that?
I think the stock is already trending, so I think hold on. This can go further high towards 750 to 780. That would be the level to watch for and book profit there.
Okay. We've got a caller from Mumbai itself. Rajesh is calling us. Good morning, Rajesh. How can we help you today?
Yeah, hi. I had a query on, I'm holding Maruti shares for quite a while.
Okay.
I wanted to know if I can add some more. I bought it at really low levels. I'm holding since 2005 actually.
Wow. Okay. Rajesh, can you tell me the story as to how you bought this? And 200 shares that you bought at 400 rupees.
Yes,
wow.
please.
But tell me about how, so you weren't tempted to sell in between?
No, I preferred to buy and forget. It was such a good company that I preferred to have that option of buying it and just letting it grow on its own.
And you have more stocks that you bought apart from Maruti Suzuki way back in 2005?
Yeah. I have a large portfolio.
Okay, can you tell me some of the other stocks that you've held for more than a couple of decades?
I'm holding Cholamandalam and Kotak Bank as well.
Okay, for the long term. And so, if you don't mind my asking, sir, Maruti Suzuki, and you're already up in the green quite considerably. So, is this less than 10% of your portfolio?
Yes, definitely. 5%. It would be lower than 5%.
Lower than 5%. All right. So, specific question on Maruti Suzuki. I'm going to take it with Rajesh as well. What's the view? The buy price is 400, and I think that we've spoken about buying Maruti Suzuki in 2005 before, but I guess it's a no-brainer. The question is, should you add more at this juncture?
See, it's like still khatam hi nahi honda hai. So it's going great and still going great. The fundamentals are not deteriorating. It's going great. New launches have been taken well. They moved into a EV space too. And at this point of time, it's an ad from our side. I won't say continue to hold because you're continuing to hold. And unless there is some sort of requirement of fund, you need not sell. Continue to hold. Funds allow, you can even add at this point of time.
Okay. All right. But quick question then. Maruti Suzuki, of course, the volume data has come through for the month of March, and seemingly quite a few of these automakers have produced, and the wholesale data has come in ahead of expectations. There is a view in the newsroom from our researcher that some of that could be because they're pushing inventory ahead of the end of the financial year, so don't read too much into that. But would you prefer Maruti over other players as well, something like a Mahindra and Mahindra, or maybe even in the two-wheeler space, would you deploy there?
See, if I talk of the entire auto space, the first preferred pick in four-wheeler is Maruti, of course, and the second one is Hyundai. Just because of the kind of valuation it's commanding at this point of time and its leadership position in the SUV space with Creta rolling high. And even this month's numbers have been quite encouraging. So Hyundai is one of the picks in four-wheeler. If we talk about two-wheeler, Bajaj Auto would be our preferred pick.
Okay. Let's take our next caller. Ashish is calling us from Jodhpur. Hi Ashish, good morning. And how can we help you today? Ashish, can you hear me? Okay, Ashish can't hear me. Just Dial is the name of the counter that we're taking next. Vasudev wants to know whether it is a good hold. He's bought at levels of 844 and he's looking for the long-term view. Rajesh, on the fundamentals, what's the view?
Just Dial, you said, right?
Yes.
It's an exit from my side. Not doing that great. Numbers have been poor. Just belonging to a Reliance group. That's it. But if you look at the numbers, that's not that encouraging. At these valuations too, I think the valuations are stretched. Try to get out.
Okay, try to get out is the view coming in on Just Dial. Lavish from Indore is writing in. He has a query on Borosil Renewables, and he specifically asked me to ask this to you, Rajesh. What's the view like for something like a Borosil Renewable? His time horizon is for 1 year.
It was one of the best companies, renewable space, making glasses and all. And just because of that anti-dumping and all, in the last 1 or 1.5 years, I would say the numbers were pretty bad. Bottom line dropped like anything, and that's the reason it fell from 900 odd rupees to almost 500 odd rupees. But at this point of time, at these valuation, I think all the negatives have been discounted, and it can move up to 600 odd rupees in the next 9 to 12 months. So at this point of time, one can continue to hold, and by any chance, due to market condition and all, it falls to around 450 odd levels. One can even add.
Shoaib from Mangalore wants to know whether to buy ITC or rather hold ITC. He's bought at levels of 406, 200 quantity for a period of 2 years, very close to the current market price. I know what Rajesh is going to say, so Vaishali on the charts.
Same view. I mean, attractive levels even to add even at these levels. So.
Okay. Okay.
Binu John from Saudi Arabia is writing in. He's holding Motherson at an average price of 126 and 200 is the quantity, and he wants to know what is the overall impact on US tariffs, if any. Rajesh, I'll come to you. What's the view like?
So talking about Motherson Wiring or some other Motherson? Wiring, it's one of the biggest companies in wire harnessing. Just because of it has exposure into the US, there might be some amount of problem in the short term. Maybe levels of 45 is quite possible if something very severe happens. Otherwise, at 50 odd levels, it's a buy from our side for a long term horizon. Maybe 12 to 18 months is a decent period to hold.
Okay, all right. So that's a view on Motherson Wiring. A lot of these auto anchs have lost value in the recent past because of this USA issue. It's time to hit the rapid fire segment, and this is a time when we throw as many questions as possible at our experts. I'm going to start with East India Hotels. This is a question specifically for you, Rajesh. V. Murli wants to know whether to hold if you bought at levels of 456. What's the view?
Buy.
All right, TCS bought at 3700 a piece. 400 shares is the holding of Shashidhar. What's the view like on the charts, Vaishali?
Very oversold, so buy again.
IDFC, sorry, and?
Add more.
Add more, okay. IDFC First Bank's Shivarudraya wants to know about, apologies, whether to hold if you bought at levels of 58 rupees. Rajesh?
Sell.
Okay, Sun Pharma Advance is the counter. Ashok Kumar from Hyderabad is holding 900 odd shares. What's the view like on the charts, Vaishali?
So hold with a stop loss of 135 and look for a target of 200.
Ola Electric bought at levels of 114. Wow. 1,000 shares. Would you hold or exit at this point? Habiba wants to know. Rajesh?
Exit.
Okay, BSC purchased at 4,229 a piece for 2 years. Gul is writing in, should he add more at the current levels, Vaishali?
Not at current levels, at lower levels, at around 5,000 to 4,800.
Okay, Spark bought 2 decades back. 900 shares held. Would you hold or exit? Ashok wants to know. Rajesh?
Hold, even add.
Okay, Manikanta is writing in from Hyderabad for Avanti Feeds. He's bought it at the price levels of 687 and he can hold for 2 years. What's the view like, Rajesh?
It's a hold from a side at this point of time. Try to book profit around 950.
Okay, Vaishali, Action Construction, would you buy, sell or hold? Shankara wants to know.
So Action Construction currently 1263. I would say hold and look for a target of 1500.
Okay, quickly. Srikanth from Hyderabad is holding Birlasoft since 2021. What's the outlook like, Rajesh?
Hold.
Okay, IRB, would you hold or exit at a price of 56? Vaishali?
Buy at these levels.
Okay, all right. That brings us to the end of the rapid fire segment and indeed this edition of Ask Profit. Thank you so much, Rajesh, Vaishali, for joining in. Always a pleasure having you on the program. Have a great day. All right, that brings us to the end of Ask Profit from Mahima and myself and the team that put the show together. Thanks so much for watching. Do stay tuned. This is NDTV Profit.